bro. If you want to be a little room slouch, then have fun doing that, dude.
You say home sludge?
No, yeah, fucking room slouch.
Oh, have
Dude,
fun.
if I leave a fucking trail of schmeckles, will you come over to chase you fucking Jew?
No, dude, I'm gonna make this video and then go to bed, and then I'll come over
You're a
maybe
dick.
tomorrow.
You're a
I'll don't
dick. I
worry.
love you.
I'm gonna
You're a
make a
dick. I
point.
love you.
I
You're a
love yeah, I
dick. I
love you
love you.
too. You see that? That's why I think it's important to have the proper relationships with people. But we'll save that for episode 3. But today what I wanted to talk about is dreams, because I've had some pretty interesting dreams in my life, and I wanted to delve into the topic of whether or not dreams have meaning and what you can take away from the things that you see while you're asleep and apply them to your life. Or, on the other hand, you could be seeing something in your dream and wondering what it means about your life. But quickly, I need to answer a question that I've received on Discord from Red Shoebox, who has, for some reason, never texted me on Discord before. No way, I've never DM'd you before. That's crazy, he says. Semi-related to your video, I'm curious what your thoughts are on people that can't picture things in their head. I always thought everyone could, but apparently there's a good number of people that can't. Well, Red Shoebox, I knew that, but I don't really take it into account much. But what I will say about that is that, you know, there must be some other sort of way that they imagine things, because obviously they can still think. Maybe they still hear words in their head, like I talked about in the last video. Link it up in the card right here if I get to it. But it's like, hmm, it, I it must be a tricky situation for them. Um, and how people get there, maybe it's like a developmental thing or a genetic based thing, or maybe it's a traumatic brain injury type thing. But, you know, like I said, there must be some other reason or other way that they perceive things and think about things. If I told you to picture a mug of coffee in front of you, what would you see? I see a purple mug with some sort of design on it, with full of coffee, and there's a trail of steam coming up from it. That's what I see. So when I ask someone to picture a cup of coffee who can't picture things, what will they see? I guess we'll never know, because we have our to each our own individual subjective experience. We can never truly know what is going on behind someone else's eyes. And you can say that you know your best friend front to back, but you never truly know what they're thinking. They can lie to you. They can tell you what they're thinking, but they probably can't tell you everything that they're thinking. Or they can lie to you. Anyway, let's talk about dreams. So, when it comes to dreams, I think that dreams vary in a sense that there's different levels of dreams that you can have, and different ways to interpret those different types of dreams. So I'd say the most basic kind of dream that you can have is about absolute nonsense. You barely know that it's happening while you're asleep, and you know, it can involve people that you haven't seen in a while, or it can involve people that you see every day, just like I said, absolute nonsense. Then we have the kind of dreams that you're more aware that they're happening, like there's a clear storyline, there's a clear plot to them that you're going through. Um, yeah, there's more to be said about that, I guess. I did not put a lot of thought into this video beforehand, but I wanted to start making it a habit of making a video. So I was thinking, oh, what can I think about? What can I talk about tonight? What should I talk about tonight? Should I expand upon my consciousness video in the last one? You know, but next from that, we have a dream that you know that you're dreaming, okay? There's something that happens in the dream that makes you realize, oh, this is definitely a dream, right? Okay. I hope everything that I talk about tonight isn't just about me either. I hope I can connect with some people. Maybe they can share their craziest dreams. Drop your craziest dream story down in the comments. Then we have the dreams that are fully lucid, that you have taken control of, and you want to go somewhere, you want to do something specific in the dream. So I'm going to tell you about a couple dreams that I've had where they fit into those different categories. Oh, there's one other kind of dream that I want to talk about that may not happen to everybody, but it certainly happens to me on occasion, and that is what I looked it up and is called a hypnagogic. I butchered that word. Hypnagogic hallucination. Let me try that one more time. Hypnagogic hallucination. Yes. Hypnagogic hallucination. Flame me in the comments, please. Anyway, and that's the kind of dream that happens very, very soon after you fall into sleep. Now, let's work backwards because this is the first kind of dream I want to talk about. This is the kind of dream where I feel like I am the most in. Like, it feels like I've straight dimension hopped to another reality when I have these dreams. And the first time that I had something like this happen to me, I determined afterwards that it was happening to me because I was sleep deprived. And this is while I was still in high school, probably the spring of this year, senior year. I was getting, 4 hours of sleep or less multiple nights in a row because I was staying up late working on my music, or I was staying up late out in the city with my friends. I could tell the stories about that in another video too. But these kind of dreams happened to me when I was sleep deprived. And then the one night I decided to go to bed at 11:30 instead of 4:30. It's kind of like you're so tired, you just collapse right into your bed and everything's so warm, you just pass right out. And then you wake up, and for me, I woke up in my bedroom again, but this time it was in a dream. And obviously I know it's a dream because I woke up out of it an hour later. Like, the dream became so real and so immersive that eventually when I got sucked out of it, because maybe I realized I was dreaming too much or whatever happened in the dream made me snap out of it, I wake up, I sit up out of my bed, and I'm thinking about what the fuck just happened. And it's only been an hour to an hour and a half after the last time I remember checking the time. So I hadn't been asleep for very long at all. So one of these dreams that I had was trying to put this into perspective, but I woke up in my bed in my bedroom, except all of the furniture was gone, and there were, like, the paint on the walls was missing in some spots, so it looked like you had grabbed the paint, peeled it off in some sections, and the room was empty, like the house had never been moved into at all. But it was my room, and I knew it was. And I could hear my dad yelling at me from downstairs or something. He wasn't in the room, but I could hear his voice. And I looked down in my hand, and there's a pile of dried psychedelic mushrooms in my hand. And keep in mind, I'm in the dream. And then in the dream, I ate the mushrooms. And the dream becomes trippy. And that's not just because I've taken psychedelic drugs. I have before. As said, as I fluffed my collar, I have taken psychedelic drugs before. So I guess part of that dream was fed into by my previous experiences. But that's what made the dream a little bit more interesting. Then I walk out of my room, and it's not the rest of my house. It's like a it's like a like an Italian brick and mortar style house. The floors are made out of brick, and the walls are white, and we're on the beach. It's a house that's right on the beach. And at this point, I'm obviously aware that it is a dream and stuff. There's like colors on the ceiling and stuff. It feels really unreal, but real at the same time. And my family, I can see them sitting all together in like this common area that looks like like a living room kind of. Again, the floor is made out of bricks, the walls are white, and there's tall glass windows. And I know outside there's the beach. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Let's go check out this beach. I walk past my family out the door and it's very sunny and hot outside. And there's like a greenhouse garden built just outside the house, beside the house, on the way walking down towards the beach. And I walked through the garden, and there were butterflies that flew into my face. And I sat down. I know I sat down on like a bench that was in the garden between the house and the beach. I still wanted to go to the beach, but I didn't get to. I woke up out of the dream back in my bed, like it never happened. But I was experiencing thoughts and emotions and desires within the dream of what I wanted to do. Like I said, I wanted to go out to the beach. So this dream made me realize there's a lot more going on in my dreams than I thought. And it was only an hour and a half after I'd fallen asleep. But yeah, that was one dream. I'm going to talk about a dream that felt lucid, like I was in control of it. Obviously, really obvious that it was a dream, though, because of the unrealistic parts of it. Because the last dream that I talked about was very, very realistic. Those kind of dreams feel like I'm in an alternate reality that is happening. But this kind of dream next is a little bit more interesting because I knew it was dreaming, but it was a complete fantasy world. The first thing I remember was being inside of a giant library with very tall bookshelves, like 20 feet high. And it was sunny out, and there was sunlight coming through, again, tall windows into the library, and it was pretty deserted. Although every shelf was there, and every shelf was full. And I walked throughout the library, and I came across a librarian who was pushing a cart of books, and he held up a yellow sticky note in front of me, and I grabbed it, and it said on it, "Don't think." I'm not shitting you. There were words on it that said, "Don't think." That was when I realized I was dreaming. Like, for most of the time, it's like a snap reality moment. I instantaneously realized that I was dreaming. And obviously I thought that was weird. And I think I flipped it over, and there was some other writing on the back of it. It might have said, "You are dreaming." I can't be certain, though. I can't be certain if it actually said that. In fact, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know one side of the yellow sticky note said, "Don't think." So, that's kind of weird. I decided to leave the library, so I walked away from the library and out these grand wooden doors. And on the other side of these grand wooden doors was a fully white, enormous marble castle. Like everything is marble countertop texture. There's like a very big railing, and then the ceiling is like all around me, and there's a gigantic golden chandelier hanging from the ceiling. And then there's a staircase on the right side of this structure, and it's a really wide staircase, probably 15 or 20 feet wide, with a carpet that rolls down the center of it. And this is where the lucid part comes in. The staircase was really, really long, and it went down somewhere. And I thought, I don't want to walk down all these stairs. Fuck that. It's going to take too long. So I decided to glide down the stairs like I was on the magic carpet that was taking me slowly down the stairs. Actually, it wasn't slow. It was more like the stairs turned into a slide, and I was sliding down them very smoothly. And when I got to the bottom of it, it was a very wide, big, open hotel lobby with golden decor everywhere, and the carpet's like red with patterns. And there's Star Wars characters walking around everywhere. C-3POs, stormtroopers, you know, all the filler characters that would be in a Star Wars movie. And I'm like, this is very interesting. I want to go see Darth Vader. So I see off to the left side of the room the big grand hotel lobby, that there's a big elevator, and there's a bunch of stormtroopers and C-3POs walking inside of it. And something told me, oh, Darth Vader must be going in that elevator too. So I walked over, got in the elevator, couldn't find Darth Vader, I don't think. And then the elevator starts going up, and it gets stuck. And I don't know what to do. So I open the top hatch of the elevator door, and there's a ladder, and I climb up out of the elevator into the dark elevator shaft. And I'm climbing up this skinny metal ladder into the abyss of darkness. Well, what actually is happening is I'm crawling back up the ladder back into my head in my bed, right there where I sleep, and I wake up. And I'm like, what the actual fuck just happened? Like, that's just how I feel every time I wake up from a dream like that. What the fuck just happened? Right? So I will lay in my bed for 10 minutes thinking about it, because that was just so elaborate, what I just experienced, and my brain came up with it. What was the dream level before that? All right. Absolute not, or there's kind of a plot to it, but it's not necessarily a lucid dream. All right. This was more of a dream that happened last night. I've been practicing being more aware of and remembering my dreams. This one didn't feel very lucid, but it felt like I was being part of a storyline. And I don't remember every single detail, but I know that there was me sitting in a crew cab, big, like 18-wheeler truck. So there was 2 front seats, 2 back seats, and it was a huge 18-wheeler truck. And there's my classmates from high school driving the truck, and I'm in the back seat. And the road is really wide, and there's a bunch of lanes, but we're on the other side of the road. We're going down a big hill, and we're out of control. Like, the truck is speeding up out of control. The road is like going downhill. It's twisty, turny, and we lose control. It's a little bit scary. I feel like it was a little bit scary, and we hit a tree. Like I feel the front of the truck crunch under the tree, right? And then it freezes. Everything freezes, and it like reverses in times. Like, if you've ever played Forza Horizon, you know about the rewind feature, where you can press Y on your controller and it rewinds the time to before you crash, so you can maybe fix your crash. That's exactly what happened. I rewinded in time in the dream back to before we crashed, and then I wasn't driving the truck, by the way. My random classmate was driving the truck. And then rewinds, goes back in time, and he cuts the wheel, and we miss the tree. And then it cycled over to a bunch of different scenes of losing control of machinery. There was a switch from doing that to me driving my Mazda RX-8, and the engine starts losing power, and then it blows up. Am I talking about absolute nonsense yet? Yes. I don't care. I just want to tell you about my dreams. And for some reason, my engine blowing up in my car is something that would be very nerve-wracking, I guess. I would be upset if that happened, and that's exactly what happened in the dream. I'm like, no, no, no. The engine blows up. Okay, and then it was another scene of where me and my close friends are flying in a stunt plane down this huge valley of like an obstacle course almost, and then we're going like doing barrel rolls and shit. We're pushing high G's, flying in a stunt plane down a valley, and then we crash. The plane flips up backwards, and then we hit the ground, and we're spinning and spinning, and it's like, but as we were spinning and crashing and imminently going to die from this crazy crash, my friend is saying something to me, and he's like, I knew this was going to happen, or this definitely was a good idea, or something like that, like trying to be sarcastic in the last few moments of our lives. Add some humor. Like, that's something that I would do. If I knew I was about to die with a bunch of my friends, we all were aware that we're about to die, we're going to say some funny shit to each other. Might as well. All right. So yeah, that was a kind of dream that didn't exactly feel lucid because I wasn't in control of the dream. Like I said, in these scenes, except the one driving my car, I was not controlling the vehicles that crashed. And there was some sort of plot. But these are the kind of dreams that you are kind of unconsciously experiencing. Like I said, you don't have any control over them. I feel like those are the kind of dreams that you should take a lesson away from. What is it trying to show you about your life that you don't have control of? Do I not have control of what my friends put me through? Do I not have control of the things that I operate on a daily basis, like my car? Do I not have control of my own life? See, that's what those kind of dreams make me think about these days. And I make this video in the hopes that somebody is going to have a dream tonight and think about it a little bit too much, because I already do that. Recently I've just started taking my dreams a little bit more seriously and thinking about them, and I'll end up thinking about them during the day while I'm working, or I'll think about it days later even, but eventually they leave my mind. But yeah, 24 minutes straight of me ranting about dreams that I had. Isn't that fun? But that's all for now.